Why are we here today? We all know yesterday's storm has presented enormous challenges. This was a tough one. And our town crews came in 9 o'clock Sunday night and have been working around the clock ever since. And there's still a lot of road to do, a lot of work to do. Once the snow quickly accumulated, we diverted the prep, sanding, etc. operation to plowing, and that's been going on ever since. We had called in about 11 o'clock Sunday night. We had about 300 pieces of equipment, contractors also to assist in our efforts, including 20 large payloaders and 12 bobcats to help clear our railroad stations. We have 7 of them that we're responsible for keeping clear and accessible, and about 40 municipal parking lots throughout the town of Islip. We've got approximately 1,200 miles of road to clear, and a storm of this size really makes it a challenge. And it's not unusual that you'd have to do 5 or 6 passes down a road. We've used approximately 3,000 tons of salt in this particular storm, and we're standing here in the salt barn, giving us a little bit of shelter from the cold. If you had been here a week ago, we couldn't be standing here because this literally, the material was up to the doors and kind of almost spilling over. So you can see, and this is just one of 3 that we have throughout the town. Some of the challenges in this particular storm were the high winds causing blizzard-like conditions and the volume of cars parked on our roadways. And that kind of brings us here today. The cars parked there overnight, throughout the day. The issue with cars is the same case that we had in the storm last December. And we would get complaints, or I did get complaints after the storm, that neighborhoods felt their roads weren't plowed as well as other neighborhoods. So I went the day after the storm in December and checked out those neighborhoods, and they were right. They weren't plowed as well as others because there were cars all over, both sides of the road. It was clear that the cars had been there overnight, covered with snow on the windshield, and I venture to guess that that's the same thing that's happening today, although it's not a guess, and let me tell you why. I received a call today from one of the school superintendents who is concerned that he may not be able to open schools tomorrow because the roads aren't plowed very well. And can I help? I said, sure, I can help. Get the cars out of the road. Get the cars out of the road. I don't know what it is that people don't understand. It is against the town code to have a vehicle on the road during a state of emergency. And we have told them, park in your driveway. If there's not room in your driveway, you can park on your lawn or in a neighbor's driveway who may not be using all of their driveway. But you have to get your cars off the road. It not only prevents the crews from doing their job, but it's also dangerous for our drivers and can cause damage to vehicles and private property. And then the calls will come in. My mailbox got hit. Here they are. Picture it. You know what it was like yesterday. You couldn't see in front of you for 2 car lengths. The wipers are going, it's cold, it's late at night, they're trying to do the best that they can, and now they've got to go around cars in, some roads that are narrower than others to begin with. So, in addition to all of that, we now are dealing with some flooding situations over at Ocean Beach in particular. There's probably about 10 to 12 inches of water on the main street in town. And this was due high tide, water came over the bay, and we're experiencing flooding conditions in other parts of our town, the low-lying areas that are prone to flooding. We've been out there, our guys have been out there, Johnny, thank you, this morning assessing the situation, and we'll be addressing that as quickly as I can, or they can. But also understand that there's a lot of prep that went in ahead of this. We knew the storm was coming, so what do? They go out there, they make sure the drains are cleared, they make sure the pumps are working, but there was just too much to deal with, and the biggest thing was Mother Nature. So I would like to ask Tom Owens if he would please come to the podium and talk a little bit about the flooding situation. Tom?
Thank you, Supervisor, and I always thank you for your support and the town board support. Fighting a storm like this and any winter storm takes resources and capital, and with the support of the town board, we're able to do that here in the town of Islip. We have a lot of new equipment, and that allows us to do a great job. I would just ask the public to be patient. Probably by the end of the day today, we'll be at 90%. We broke through all the neighborhoods yesterday. As the supervisor said, it's been snowing since 8 p.m. on Sunday night. So our goal is to always keep the main roads open during that event and then do the secondaries. We're in the secondaries now. If we could just be patient, we are, some of the driveways do get covered back in. It doesn't give us any joy to do that. We know some of the people are seniors. We apologize in advance for that, but by law, we have to get it back to the curb. So I just want to thank the supervisor and my staff and the media for covering this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom, and I appreciate his recognition of the fact that it takes a very engaged, supportive town board to make sure that this happens. They need the resources, and sometimes it's not easy to take those votes to spend the money that you need to spend to get the kind of equipment we need to service the residents in our great town. So to that event, I want to thank John Cochran, who has been a stalwart, and also to the rest of the members of the town board, for the most part, in supporting those initiatives so that we can make sure that the people that are charged with doing the job each and every day have the tools necessary to do the job. I see that our Commissioner of Public Safety is also joining us. We're in the middle of a Peace Officer Training Academy today. Tony D'Amico, thank you so much. And now I would ask Tony Prudenti if you would come give us an update.
Sure. I'd like to echo what the supervisor and Commissioner Owen stated about the public being patient with everybody as they clear the roads. We're in post-storm operation, which is assisting our stakeholders over in Fire Island throughout the county and the state, along with helping DPW make sure the roads are clear and the low-lying areas that did have flooding are getting pumped out adequately. So we're here to help out our partners at Public Safety, and we're Emergency Operations Center is still open on a low level right now. We continue to monitor the post-storm. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. And as you said, the Emergency Operations Center is operating now at a low level. And listening to the news this morning, I hear that we may have 1 or 2 storms on the way. So please, no more. We've had enough. With that, if there are any questions, I would certainly be happy to entertain them, or the commissioners would. Are there any questions?
Is there anything that can be done about the problem of people leaving their cars on the street, are there fines, or is there anything you'd like more to say to?
Well, certainly we don't want to be in the business of fining people, especially when they're in the midst of dealing with a storm event. However, it is really not fair to the rest of, let's say, a particular block, the neighbors, that they're not getting the job that they could get in having their road plowed because a neighbor insists upon leaving their car on the road. And to that point, I received an email yesterday about that very same situation. So Public Safety is going to be going out. We are going to be notifying people. It is against the law. You can get a violation. Not something we want to do, but in the interest of public safety and in the interest of doing what's right and fair for everyone, we are going to have to address this issue with the tools that we have at our disposal. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much, guys, for helping get the word out. Really appreciate it.